A lot of the students that are in our program aren't necessarily wanting to move on to get advanced degrees, but just wanted to change careers or learn skills to be able to do a passion that they have or be able to do something on their own. And the sustainability movement right now is very huge, and people are really wanting to be able to just grow their own food and have their own business, and our program really reinforces that.
Eventually I want this to be my life. I want this to be my business, something that's gonna, leave a legacy for my family, that is gonna feed us, that's gonna feed other people. And it's not just being asked to regurgitate something onto a test. It is hands-on the entire time, and then at the end, when you're presenting, you're teaching. You are teaching that, what you have gained, to your classmates, to other people who are sitting in. So from the student perspective, I've gotten more than my money's worth.
There's nothing better than hands-on training as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not the best test taker when it comes to a business math class, but you put me in class with horticulture and it's all hands-on, I'm all over it. I love it. There's no better way. If you want to go apply for a job and you've been doing hands-on for however many semesters you've been over there, it's a valuable tool to have in your pocket.
Being able to go from seed to market kind of satiates that creative drive in me. I get to choose what seed I'm going to plant and from what company, or whether I'm going to use seed that I saved myself. And it's kind of like my canvas, because I get to decide what goes where and what I'm pairing with what and how I prepare the soil, if I'm going to mulch, and mid-season or even at the end of the season to look at that and be like, what, I did this, I created this. There's this movement where people want to feel greater connection to their food. And I think we're really seeing that. When people come up and talk to you at the market, they want to see you be passionate. And it's obvious, what your sales are like when you're passionate about what you're doing and what you're selling. And, and it's also obvious when you're selling to somebody who's passionate about having something that's homegrown and local.
Every class that you take over there with the Hort degree, you really have to be involved at some point in the plant sale. We go through and we decide, okay, what do we want to have this year, or what do we need to cut back that we grew last year? We could say we grew too much. We had tons of petunias last year. Two of the classes put together a spreadsheet, and we know how many we are going to grow, and then we break it down. Well, when is this specific plant going to germinate? When is it going to be ready to be transplanted? How much sun it needs at maturity, or how much water, and whether it's good for a drier or wetter conditions. So yeah, all the students, you're definitely in on planning that out, deciding what do we want to have for sale this year. The community, loves what we do with the Mother's Day plant sale. And if we can get those important people in there that, have some extra dollars to maybe donate, that's wonderful. And people who come they're constantly asking us students, well, I've got this, what do I do now? Or how do I do this? And to build that relationship with the public, and for them to see that the students, wow, they actually know what they're talking about, or they can point you in the right direction to the specific tomato that you want, or the specific flower. I feel that everything I've learned with helping to plan the plant sales, I could apply on my own, either with a greenhouse or possibly starting my own small one, or even doing work with a landscaping company. I enjoy that aspect too.
2 semesters ago when I started teaching the landscape design applications, I had the students choose from campus projects, and actually one of the students' project was chosen to actually be installed at the new NSEC building. We haven't got to that point yet of getting it installed, but that just reinforced that that was a popular or a successful way to do things, so I continued it on to the next semester, and we had a lot of new campus projects going on here, so it was very exciting, and the students got to choose. I gave, a list of different projects they could do, and it was nice to actually watch the progress of the construction of the new projects, and then they could decide what they wanted to do for landscaping.
We all had a specific area we had to distinguish, and make a plan for. What you learn in your first landscape design class is the focal point is what leads your eye to the door, which is what I tried to do. And that was kind of the idea with the Richland logo, was trying to lead your eye to the door with that, and then I had potted plants on either side. From there, it's just giving the building some color. I did a lot of junipers to give it some color in the winter, because you try to give your 4 seasons, so you try to give color in the summer, winter, fall, and spring. Wichita blues, some skyrockets to give height, because that building is so tall. From there, you take it into stages, so you go from tall and you go medium and short. So in front of that, a lot of annuals in front of that, so every year you can change it up and do a different color scheme or whatever you want to do. And then some low ground covers in front of that. I took away most of the presentation. That was really helpful at the end of the semester when other people came in besides our classmates, and really got to see what we could do, and they gave their input on what they liked or what they disliked, and it was really helpful to see what a client, prospective client would want or wouldn't want.
Part of project-based learning is learning how to be a better communicator and interpersonal skills. So I believe it's very important for students to practice presenting their ideas, especially if they're going to go out in the real world and meet with clients, that they need to get that communication going on presenting their ideas, because it's easy to put their ideas on paper, but why? What was the reasoning for this, and explaining their concepts of their design. So not just presenting to the students in the class or faculty that they're familiar with, but to other faculty and staff on campus, as well as community members, helps reinforce that.